We have the young girl struck by a car last night not far from her home. She was rushed to hospital where she later died. Now, Hamilton police say the 10-year-old girl was hit on Evans Road and Highway 5. This is in Waterdown around 7 p.m. Despite the efforts of paramedics and doctors, she died of her injuries. The driver remained on the scene, but so far there's no word on charges. Evans Road has since reopened. Now, as the reconstruction unit was investigating this fatal crash, a news camera operator as well as a freelance videographer were arrested at the scene. It's not clear why they were detained or whether any charges have been laid. The freelancer, David Ritchie, who has provided City News with some footage in the past, took to Twitter saying, "Thanks for the support. I have great relationships with many first responders. This was an isolated issue and I will be seeking resolution." Hamilton police have not commented on the arrests or on any charges. Well, we've got some good news for commuters. Subway service is getting back to normal right now on Line 2. This after trains got off to a late start between Main and St. George stations. We're going to take you to a live look at St. George Station, where shuttle buses were called in to help out commuters who were moving through. Just moments ago, subways started running. They were delayed because of late clearing work over at Chester Station. So riders, you can expect longer than usual wait times, but the issue is not expected to stick around for very long, so good news for those who are just heading out the door. Well, it's happened again. If you're keeping count, this on our watch is at least 4 times that glass has fallen from the Four Seasons Hotel, forcing another road closure. Our Tammy Sutherland live at Bay in Yorkville with how long this one is going to last. Good morning, Tammy.
Well, Melanie, good morning. It's expected to last throughout the morning rush at least. They're waiting for engineers to arrive here to assess the situation after glass from a window pane fell from the penthouse of the building here onto Bay Street late last night. No one was injured, but as you mentioned, this is not the first time it happened. 2 people did receive minor injuries back in 2015 when it happened, September of that year. And then again in February of 2016, glass fell. And of course, we have this right now, and we are looking to see whether or not engineers have arrived here. In the meantime, though, pedestrians and traffic are being blocked off from Bay Street in between Yorkville and Schollard. Pedestrians, a lot of them still trying to cross the yellow line, yellow tape here that police have put up to try to continue their way on. Police are reminding you this area is shut down until further notice and likely throughout the morning rush. We'll let you know as soon as engineers arrive here on scene. And of course, whenever this section of Bay Street opens, we'll let you know as soon as possible. Mel, I'll send it back to you for now.
Thank you for that, Tammy. The 50th Annual Toronto Police Officer Awards recognizing a person in uniform who went above and beyond the night of 2015 music nightclub shooting, naming him the Officer of the Year.
Staff Sergeant Joe Matthews.
The situation that I was faced with, I was a bit of an unruly crowd, but at the end of the day, there was a victim that required attention, and you know, it wasn't his fault what was happening around him.
The night of the shooting, Staff Sergeant Joseph Matthews was driving alone near Dufferin when he realized one of the victims, who had been shot 3 times, was in a taxi in front of him. The man was bleeding profusely. Sergeant Matthews pulled him out of the cab, started administering first aid. Meanwhile, a hostile crowd was forming around him. A woman actually punched Matthews, but he and a passerby continued to give first aid to keep the situation calm. The shooting victim made it to hospital and did survive. Now, coming up here on BT, the Officer of the Year will be joining us live.